I'm a so-called average or casual gamer nowadays. I probably wouldn't have said that a few years ago, but nowadays for sure I am. Why is that? I have less time for gaming. Personal choice, and, just other aspects of life preventing me from gaming so much. I'm not complaining or anything, it's just the way things are. I have a full-time job, a fiance I want to spend time with, exercising, eating and sleeping that I'm less willing to sacrifice time for, and therefore I spend less time gaming. That means I have less time to grind games like Diablo IV that I probably would have done a lot more of when I was younger. I therefore believe that puts me solidly into one of the main target audiences of Diablo IV. Not just that fact alone, but also the fact that I do have some disposable income, which means I can, if I want to, buy multiple battle passes as they come out, and was able to pre-purchase the game to get early access and things like that. I'm by no means a whale in the industry of trying to sell cosmetics to players of a game, but I am definitely someone that will spend money on a game that I enjoy, even if I don't have to. I have spent money on Path of Exile, for example, a game that is free and you can 100% get by without spending a penny on that game, but I have, because I enjoyed the game and want to support the developers, spent money on that game. This video is less to do with how good Diablo is in general, but what I, as an average gamer, think of Diablo 4, and specifically what I think about the Diablo 4 Season 1. I've played probably about 15 to 20 hours of the base game, and I've played about 15 to 20 hours of this character in Season 1. I took a short break before Season 1 came out because I didn't want to have fatigue and knew that there would be a level of repetition. I've played other action RPG seasons, so I recognize the model of you kind of start again, and I honestly quite like it. It gives you an excuse to start with a new character, and there's usually new mechanics, new bosses, a bunch of new stuff to kind of play. Path of Exile, in my opinion, is the best example of this because they often add a whole new sort of section to the game, usually end game. Sometimes it runs through the entire game, but there's a lot to their seasons. Diablo 3, on the other end of the scale, it was like a modifier and a new unique set that you could get for different characters. So, I believed Diablo 4 would sit firmly in the middle, and I think I'm kind of right in that sort of prediction. So I'm going to start with the likes because, honestly, people probably find the dislikes more juicy, and in this case, I think they are. But anyway, let's start with the likes. I like that you kind of get a free battle pass, and I know that's very common as a kind of way of getting people to invest in the non-free one, but I do like the fact that they didn't just immediately lock it behind a paywall, which I think, honestly, and from a business standpoint, is probably an even slimier practice than locking it behind a paywall by giving it a free, because it kind of coaxes people in. But I do appreciate that, some people have bought this base game and they don't want to miss out on the season and what it can award. I like that it isn't pay to win. Yes, we have these smoldering ashes, which I haven't actually got to a stage where I can use them, but these smoldering ashes are all under the free tier, and you can kind of choose to use them to speed up, I believe, your leveling progress. So as long as you grind the battle pass enough, you'll be able to use those smoldering ashes to accelerate your game, and therefore it isn't pay to win. I very much appreciate that. I like that they didn't add that as a paid concept, even though I believe the boost is quite small. Definitely appreciate what they did there. I also like the fact that after they did get a backlash from those that are much smarter than me and did read the patch notes, and they did some adjustments. Now, I don't know if they necessarily did enough adjustments. I still see some complaints out there, but I do respect the fact that those that are very passionate and have figured out builds did go to and kind of make a bit of noise, and Blizzard did their campfire and they did try and make some adjustments. They didn't answer all the questions, they didn't make things perfect, but I do appreciate they did try to listen to the fans. And I do like the fact that, and I've already mentioned this, a new season means I get to try a new character. Now, I don't have to try a new character, I could just do a standard build over and over, but I usually use it as an excuse to try a new character. Finally, although I think their cosmetics are very much aimed at, like, look how cool the ones are that aren't free, you have to pay for to get these. I appreciate that they're trying to, like, sell it to you, but honestly, actually looking at the aesthetics, I kind of like this plain-ish looking free ones more than I like some of the paid ones. And that's probably about where my likes for the season ends. What don't I like about this season? Well, the Battle Pass Platinum is all behind a paywall. There is no way that you can earn the currency that you can spend in their cosmetic shop without purchasing the battle pass, which kind of frustrates me a little bit. I would have preferred if they'd done a sort of Fortnite-esque model where you still can earn some platinum on the free one. And honestly, if they would have done the Fortnite model, I think they may have coaxed more out of people that don't have tons of money, who maybe would have bought a small pack of platinum, grinded to be able to get the rest of the platinum, and then purchased the battle pass maybe towards the end of the season, but then were able to unlock all those paywall cut-off cosmetics. Or maybe they would have saved the platinum for the next season. Also, I was given this battle pass for free as part of my pre-purchase package thing, so I believe you can only purchase the battle pass with money rather than with platinum, which again is fine, but it also feels like, oh, I grind all of this platinum and the only thing I can spend it on is cosmetics. I would have liked the ability to, if I did grind this season, to have that platinum that I can maybe use it towards the next battle pass. And then the third point about this platinum, you don't even get close to the value of what you pay for the battle pass in platinum. I believe the battle pass is about $10 and 25 if you want to boost yourself those first 20 levels. So I did essentially get that $25 for free as part of my pack, which, okay, I should add that to my like list. But that's only for those people that I think bought the middle or highest package, so doesn't really affect everyone. But either way, right, it's $10. If you look in the shop, platinum, I believe $10 gets you 1,000 platinum, possibly with an amount of bonus. So this is in Canadian dollars, so this is about 10 USD. It's actually a little over, but let's just assume that, yeah. Anyway, you only get some free stuff when you purchase quite a lot more. But anyway, 1,000 platinum is about 10 USD. Whereas the season, I believe you only get 600. Also, 60 platinum is not that much. For example, this is 1,000 platinum. All of these kits are like 1,000 platinum. That means even if I earn all 600 from the battle pass, I wouldn't be able to buy any of these recommended for me ones. In fact, I struggled to find anything that I could purchase for 600 platinum, which makes me feel like they're trying to double dip a little bit. Like, we're not going to give you a whole battle pass value worth of platinum for grinding and spending time within our game. We're only going to give you 600 because then you will have to either buy the next battle pass to get more platinum, or, yeah, no, honestly, at the moment, there's nothing in the store that you can get for 600, or you'll have to buy more platinum, unless add-ons? Nope, that's costs money, and yeah, anyway, so yeah, it doesn't give you enough to purchase anything, which means you either have to purchase more platinum, or wait until next season to grind even more, which by then, maybe if you grind 2 full seasons, you'll be able to buy 1 single set or something, or maybe 1 or 2 items in total. So I'm not a big fan of how they're kind of trying to use the battle pass to get you to spend more money, even though you've already bought the battle pass. Generally speaking, I think that is a classic Blizzard strategy of, we're trying to get you to spend more money in our game in the kind of sneakiest way possible. I see through it myself, don't appreciate it, and I'm not going to be buying platinum. Like, hands down, was never really planning on buying platinum anyway, but if I'd gotten caught up in more of the hype and continue to be hyped, I may have bought some platinum to buy a particularly sick outfit. This comes to my second thing I dislike. I don't think I like a single non-free cosmetic out of the 90 levels of which I think most of them are cosmetics. Not a single one is like, oh, I need this. I need to grind. Like, this. I don't care. It doesn't look that appealing to me. Nothing about it is like, I need this item. In fact, the item I like the most is the first sword that I think you get for free. This sword here, to me, is honestly the best cosmetic in the entire battle pass. Now, I know that's personal preference. Some of you may find other aspects like really super cool. Maybe that like horns, like skeleton-esque helmet at the end is what you're after. It has a slightly cool particle effect. I personally do not like it at all. Like, none of these really appeal to me that much. Like they're cool, and if I do unlock them, I probably will equip some of them. But really, I don't find them that appealing. And like I said, I actually like this free one the most out of all of them. So I genuinely, if I was looking at this battle pass, I probably wouldn't have purchased it if it wasn't given to me for free, because I could see, oh, I can earn the levels to get the boost anyway, and I can get some free cosmetics. So I think they did a little bit of a poor job there in terms of coaxing, at least for me, into purchasing items. Complete personal preference, but it definitely has made me like look at this and go, I'm not gonna bother grinding this. There's nothing pushing me to grind this battle pass under any sort of fashion. Yeah. So I dislike the cosmetics, and I don't dislike them, I just don't really care enough about them. So that kind of makes the season a bit more flat. There's also nothing so far that really stands out from the base game. I know this is new, this is their first season, but to me it feels like they rushed the launch of the base game and then used season 1 as kind of like what should have been really just a patch, with a battle pass to try and make some more money. There's nothing really making me want to go beyond like level 50 in terms of end game. There seems to be like a point at which the grind becomes so high that I just don't have time to really hit it. And so at the moment, I am going to play this season a bit more, but at the moment there's nothing that's making me like, oh, I got to get my head down and grind for this epic like item, this really cool boss fight, this really cool end game mechanic, this amazing unique item. I don't really have that drive at the moment. So again, maybe that's probably just personal preference, but it kind of makes this season. That was a really weird noise that the game just made in the background there. It just has made this season feel a bit flat. It's like ways I can kill you. That's good to hear. Thanks, Eldergoth. 14. Oh, level 14. That's not his name. Okay, ignore me. Anyway, there is nothing about this season that has made me that excited about it. I know that comparing this against Path of Exile, a very well established and very good action RPG, is not really the right thing to do, but it's really hard not to, because that is, in my opinion, at the moment, Diablo 4's main competitor, and soon it will be Path of Exile. Well, I say soon-ish, it will be Path of Exile 2 that they'll be competing with. They're already failing to get me to stick to Season 1, where everything should still be pretty new. I do worry about the future. But my only hope is that they continue to treat these seasons a little bit like patch releases, and by like Season 3, Season 4, there's enough hype that I come back to it. And then finally, something that you probably mentioned, I definitely heard this mentioned a ton of times, but I need to mention it also. I'm bored of repeating the renown tasks, and I've only done them twice. There are people who have done them like 3 or 4 times by this point, but like they are so dull, some of them. I have zero connection to the NPCs. There is maybe 1 or 2 interesting renown tasks where it feels like there's like a bit of story behind it, but the rest of them are just like, oh, run here and do that. The idea of renown to me is fame, and what comes to my mind is Fable 3, where you often could get positive or negative renown, and you'd grow horns or an angel ring if you were super good, super bad. To me, that was like a brilliant renown system, and I don't think it would have been hard for them to give us an illusion of non-linear gameplay by allowing us to make a couple of choices in these renown missions, these like little side quests, where we could be the bad guy or we could be the good guy, with some maybe minor consequences, but nothing that affected the main storyline. How hard would it be? I believe there was one quest where you have to collect some gems. How hard would it have been to allow me to keep the gems for additional gold, or even just some actual, gems in your inventory? Oh, wrong button. These in your inventory, over handing it back in for experience and the little boxes that come with some of the quests. That would have been really easy to do. It gives me an illusion of choice and a little bit of character and color to these side quests, but instead it's just like, go here, kill this thing, collect that thing, come back. And the 90% of them kind of follow that same pattern. A couple of them do something a little bit different and a little bit darker or a little bit more interesting, but most of them are go here, kill a thing, collect something, come back. Or go here, collect something and come back, or go here and kill a thing. They're just different variations of that. And I'm not going to go on too much longer because you've heard it all probably from other streamers, other content creators who have all said pretty much the same thing. Even people on like places like Reddit and Twitter and stuff are just saying like they don't want to have to refarm these renown missions because they are dull to do. I would much rather have less of them with slightly more interest twists to them, choices to them. Yeah. Oh, and one last thing, again, this is to do with the base game. When you enter this city here, which honestly my pronunciation is going to be terrible, Kavashad, whatever. This city that I'm in right here, this is one of the first ones. In fact, I think it is the first city you go to. You have to burn a stick in a fire and say one of your biggest sins or whatever you're most afraid of or whatever. That, as far as I can tell, has no impact on this game whatsoever. Maybe it does, and I just haven't heard about it properly, but that feels like the biggest time waste. And it feels like, to me, it's like the developer came up with a great idea where it could control some part of the game, but they just didn't have time to develop the different strings that it would pull on. It would be so easy to give an illusion of that choice making a difference, still giving them the exact same everyone the same main storyline, but maybe choosing one or the other unlocks a different renown task first or second, or
not while I'm in town.
There are so many things you could have done with that single choice that could have just made me feel like this game isn't just a linear, and I keep using the word linear, it's technically not linear. I can go and choose to go to different areas way ahead of time, do different tasks and whatever I want, but essentially it's just the order I'm doing things on a straight line. I'm just jumping to different points on that straight line rather than giving me a tangled web. And I understand that obviously is a lot harder to program, but maybe you could have just done a couple of branches that could have just all come back to the same point, but just a touch of illusion of choice, I think could have gone such a long way with this game. And I know I'm supposed to be just talking about Season 1, and that's kind of on a tangent on the game in general, but food for thought is what I'm saying. So, generally speaking, I got bored of this very quickly. I felt like I was doing the same thing with no real aim towards anything that was special or different. I did also feel a little bored of the base game, and maybe that's just me as a person. And it's a new game, and I need to give it more of a chance, and I will continue to give it a chance, but I did feel that I was a little bored. It also feels a little unfinished to me. It feels like they gave us early access, called it the full game, and then are gonna sell us the rest of the game over time. More EA style move, but in a Blizzard fashion of battle passes with patches. And I think a little part of me wonders if they'd spent less time on 90 levels of battle pass, like maybe just 50, and same amount of non-cosmetics, and then the rest is cosmetics. Oh, I think you get 666. That's number of the devil, I guess, but still not enough platinum to do anything with. But anyway, if they'd spent less time designing all of these probably 70 odd cosmetics, could they have maybe done something else in game, given me an illusion of choice on one or two early renown missions, or given an NPC a bit more of a backstory? Maybe not. Maybe, they're completely different departments, and it would have made no difference other than making us complain that the battle pass wasn't big enough. But it feels like they focused a little too much in the wrong area for some of this. So yeah, should you play Diablo 4 Season 1? Honestly, I know I've been very negative, but yes, you should play Diablo 4 Season 1. But only as much as you feel like playing it. It's not worth grinding to the end, and it's not worth paying for the battle pass, in my opinion. I think you're better off saving your money for next time or for something else instead. And just use Diablo 4 Season 1 to keep you going until, August 18th, when Path of Exile's new season comes out, or August 31st, when Baldur's Gate 3 fully releases. Both of which are definitely going to pull my attention away from Diablo 4. But yeah, there you have it. An average gamer's point of view of Season 1 of Diablo 4. hopefully that's maybe a touch different to what you've seen with all the streamers and content creators who have had maybe hundreds of hours in game. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.